With both sponsons off, the time has come to start cleaning the interior on this 1947 Old Town Square stern. A lot of work needs to be done here. I'm going to be mixing up some TSP substitute, which is a rinse-free cleaner to use associated with painting, to try and clean off this wood. And once it's cleaned, then it'll need to be stripped in terms of remaining varnish. So here's how it's looking now. This area toward the stern is kind of the worst. You can even see some of that dark color. I almost think that that's from the gas or the oil from the outboard that kind of has soaked in and stained that wood a little bit, because the rest of the boat, you don't see so much of that darker color. You can see there is some grime down as we get in toward the center here. The floor grate was in place, and you can see how there was material stuck in under that. You can kind of see where the floor grate ended and the top sides kind of begin there. So I'm going to start at the transom here, scrubbing with this, and we'll see how it goes. So this is the TSP substitute that I'm using. The instructions say to mix it 8 ounces per gallon for general cleaning and double that for heavy duty cleaning. So that's what I'm gonna do. I've got a bucket here, that's a 2-gallon bucket with about 1 gallon of warm water in it. And I'm gonna add about 1 pint of this cleaner, mix it up, we'll start cleaning. I do have these nice neoprene gloves to wear to protect the hands, and I'll be using the nylon brushes. So it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see all the junk that gets loosened up when I do this. Of course, I do feel like I'm going to have to do this multiple times to get all this grime out of here. But boy, oh boy, I mean, just look at, see all that loosening up with the water and the cleaner. Back piece is particularly filthy. Well, this was incredibly filthy. You can see some of the dirty water that's accumulating down there at the keel. It's actually dripping through. There's holes in the canvas, particularly up here. Back here, it's probably absorbing a little bit into the canvas. I am gonna come through and try and rinse this with the right side up. I did hose this out with the boat upside down before trying to clean this, but I'm gonna actually spray the hose in here with it right side up to try and blast some of this out of here, and then I'll roll it over and rinse it again once it's upside down. So we'll hopefully get everything spilling out that way. And then we'll let it dry, and I will probably have to repeat the whole process again at least one more time. Well, this is how watertight she was. That is to say, not at all. I'm gonna roll it upside down and continue this process of rinsing it. You can really see the filth here on my tarp with some broken ice from when I rinsed it several days ago. We've had some below freezing temperatures in the interim. I'm gonna let this sit now for a week at least to dry out. This floor will dry up, the boat will dry out, and once it is all dried out, I'll take a look inside. My feeling is I'm gonna have to scrub this some more, and I'm probably gonna resort to having to use a toothbrush down there at the keel toward the center just to squeeze it in there and get it to actually brush the planking off. Because of course, naturally, when you use this boat, any dirt and debris is gonna go and settle down there right between the ribs where there's space, a gap between that keel piece and the planking on the hull. So I'm gonna have to work at that some more. It's just gonna probably be one scrubbing per week until it's clean. Here is the finished product. This has now been scrubbed with TSP 3 times to get to this condition that we're in now. We finally got most of the grime, including some of the oil slick up that was back here. Got the debris out from tucked up underneath there. You can see some of the varnish is completely gone in just a couple of spots there. That's where I think people's feet were sitting on the stern seat. You have the same thing right up here, and I think that's from where feet went sitting on that seat. And then there's some spots up there by the bow on the ribs where the varnish is gone, but the rest does need to be stripped off. Amazing how much grime there was in here